Gotta. Okay, I'm being serious. Okay. They try to rig the game, but they cannot fake influence. They, you know who they is, tried it, girl, tried to rig the game, meaning, hey, we're going to try to make you think this over here. You cannot fake influence. And I am influential. Hey everyone, it's your girl, Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore hair care. Kenya Moore hair spa. Kenya Moore YouTube. Anyway, this is my first ever YouTube content that I'm putting out myself. And I'm so proud of myself because I am taking back the narrative instead of everyone speaking on me and quite frankly, everyone making money off of me. That part. Even sitting down in the interview chair, I haven't done that like for a year. So guess what? I'm doing it for you. Thank you for joining me. And be sure to subscribe because you do not want to miss any of this hot, smoking, piping hot tea. Let's get into it. Let's get into the receipts, okay? More receipts. I have more receipts for you, and I want to just talk about some things that I have been seeing out in the atmosphere that are completely laughable, most of it, but also in a lot of ways just really dumb. Yeah, I said it, dumb. Portia, in her recent YouTube, alluded to another housewife sending me the photos of the now infamous photos that were shown during my spa opening.
I know for a fact that one of these housewives who is still on the show is the one who gave Kenya a big part of that nude information.
So number one, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. The photos were online on various porn sites, many porn sites. I don't watch porn. I'm not a porn expert. I don't enjoy it. I don't participate. I don't get anything from it. Okay. I would like to just rather see my own body in action, maybe in a mirror or something like that. But I'm not going to sit there and watch porn. The investigators and everyone involved, not including Drew Sidora, found those images and they're still there. That brings me to Ming Lee. Someone said that Ming Lee was somehow involved because they know each other, and Ming said out of her own mouth that she has a lot of evidence of BRIT'S past performances, gigs. Let me say this for the people in the back. We did not get any photos from any person. They came directly from a search online. The photos that were revealed are not considered revenge porn. I went so far as, oh my God, did I do something wrong? I don't know this lady. I don't know any of her ex-boyfriends. I don't know any of her ex-friends. I've never seen this lady before in my life. I want to make sure I didn't break any laws. So I engaged a local attorney who advised me about the federal law as well as the Georgia state law. I shared photos that were readily available online. I did not commit revenge porn. I shared a publicly available photo that was accessible online. If I showed Kim Kardashian's sex tape right now, is that revenge porn? It's not. And then while we're talking about that, I've already said it was wrong. I should not have done it at my salon, this beautiful salon that I've worked so hard for, that I spent a lot of money on, that money that could have been spent in other areas, including supporting my child. So yes, I am very sorry that I shared the photos because it wasn't right, but I did not break the law. And I'm very sorry for what I did. So in the comfort of my own home, I was joking around with my bestie, which I always do, my very best friend, Brandon DeShazer. We were having a dispute on the show with Phaedra, and I was in my closet and I brought out one of my firearms, and I'm like, oh, do I have to use this on Phaedra tonight? Giggling, ha, 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 he, he, he. Phaedra was not around, nowhere to be present. Phaedra never saw it. I never said it in any threatening way. I was not upset. You cannot compare apples to oranges. If you want to do that, does Phaedra sitting on the reunion couch with her taser ready for me count? Okay, moving on.
Tell us about your first interaction with Brit and why you feel like she misinterpreted your energy.
Oh, I don't think she misinterpreted anything. It was all very calculated. So the first interaction I had with all of the ladies was actually really pleasant. I was excited to meet them. It was season 16. I'm like, oh my God, this is season 16. I'm the only one standing that's a real OG, 12, 13 years in, and I felt like I could be mother to everyone. I'm a mother, okay? Show these girls I've been through the fire. I know what it's like to be a newbie. I know what it's like to be here. I know everything that could possibly happen has happened to me on this show. And I felt like I could speak, as someone that could be supportive, could read a girl if she's wrong. And my first interaction with all of the newbies, I was like, oh, you girls are so pretty. Kelly was there, Brittany was there, everyone was there except for Angela at the moment, and also Drew. And I just remember coming in just being very pleasant to everyone, and there was an issue about a ring that someone made. I feel as though that was clearly a made-up issue. If someone has an engagement ring on and not a wedding band, not the other way around, because if you just have on one ring and it's just a circular ring, that's usually a wedding band. Now, you could choose to wear whatever you want to wear on your hand. No one's saying that. I was confused at what she was saying about it being a new ring or a different ring, or her second ring is actually what she said. I'm like, oh, you've been married before? I don't know this girl. I never seen her before in my life. So again, you're wearing an engagement ring. I'm assuming that either you're engaged or you're I don't think you could be anything else. I think my fans know and I'm being shady. I think they call me the shade assassin for a reason. That wasn't shady. We know what my shady looks like. Let's move on. It wasn't shady. So after I saw her and, we had the whole moment again about the hug was a very awkward. I don't like to hug. If you see me out in public, I will probably never hug you, because I do believe people transfer energy to you, and you have to really kind of know someone and know where they're coming from to hug them. So I don't really hug people that I don't know. That's not a crime. That is a boundary that I have for myself, and people need to respect that. It's not personal. Then we get to the next time I see her, the Balmain event. I'm like, oh, you look so beautiful, like a Balmain Barbie. You look amazing. Hi, Balmain Barbie. How are you? Yes. Hi. I hugged her then, hugged her when I saw her another time, hugged her at the dinner.
That was a pat. That wasn't a hug.
That's a hug without getting makeup on me. And she was complaining every step of the way. And I'm like, this girl has very bad energy, but I paid it dust. And I just went on to have a good time, because I was actually having a really good time at the dinner before it went left. So the whole thing about being targeted, her being targeted by me, people asking her if I did something to her, she can't answer why, because it didn't happen. Do you want to know what I really think happened? I think that when she was interviewing for Real Housewives of Atlanta, she wanted the villain role. She wanted to come after me because she felt like, okay, well, Portia wasn't there at the time. I was, right? And I believe that she made them promises that she was going to come after me. She was going to be this girl that could read, this girl that was doing all this, And when she met me, Portia flushed this out. She was surprised and thrown off that I was so nice, because I am nice. I don't really bother people unless they bother me. We know I retaliate. We know that's what I do. I'm not saying it's always right, but I'm not going to let anybody run over me. And I have no reason to not like someone that I don't know. And I was always nice to the girls. The point is, I think she overpromised what she would do on the show. The first 3 weeks of filming, she was exceptionally boring. There was nothing outstanding about her. She didn't come in. She wasn't dressed in designer clothes from head to toe. Her husband wasn't particularly interesting. Like, no, not trying to throw shade in the husband. Sorry about that. But there was just nothing in the group scenes that I saw her in that made me think, oh, that's a star baby. I was actually more captivated by Kelly and Angela. And of course, I knew Shamia already. I knew her personality. But she was failing. Like, she was dull. Okay? So I think when she kept trying to come after me, and I just was like, okay, girl, I see you. You're trying to have a moment. You're falling flat. This is your 3 weeks in. Producers are probably asking you, girl, when are you going to show up? And you thought, okay, I'm going to show up tonight. And I think was her downfall from there. This is the biggest question that I have for the people that come on reality TV that have a shady past that you're not proud of. Okay, we've all done things in our past we're not proud of. Nobody was perfect. To the Simons, to the Chrisleys, it went from someone saying you're 17, age of consent, to, oh wait, that's not going to track. Okay, let me just say I was underage. No. So that's what I just don't understand. Like, I'm not even going to open that can of worms, because my whole question and line of questioning would be completely different from everybody else's. I would want to know, if you're going to make a statement, you need to prove. You already know you're capable of lying, right? Excuse me 1 second. Okay, wow. Another Google alert. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't understand why any person would come on reality TV when they have done things in the past or are currently doing things that they don't want to be found out. Why? And then to give someone a reason to expose you. In the words of Samuel L. Jackson, am I the only sane motherfucker? Like really? Am I the only sane person in the room? Why? Because they're so egotistical, they don't think they'll be found out. Like, okay, wow. You paid to scrub the internet out of your own words. Okay. Well, they left some dust in the corner. And over there, behind there too. A lot of people say that I had never taken accountability for anything, and that's simply not true. And I went on Tamron Hall. I was promoting my daughter's book. The issue came up, and I said, I take full accountability. I am not playing the victim. I'm telling my own truth. I ultimately chose to go on Tamron Hall because I really needed to publicly take accountability for my actions. I mean, sharing that photo at my own salon opening was a serious lapse in judgment. Everybody can possibly now understand that it was definitely not the smartest thing to do. And I deeply regret that I hurt anyone that was involved, including the cast, including Brittany, including the crew, including any of the guests that were there to come to celebrate me. I mean, this platform gave me a chance to sincerely apologize and not to excuse what I did, but to own it fully. Sometimes the things that you do can come back and they can hurt you. And as I've said here before, I definitely did not, I escalated the situation. I didn't need to. Kim Fields, okay? People are so mad. That was 6-7 years ago, and rightfully so. I issued a public apology to Kim when I was on Watch What Happens Live. They asked me, is there anything that I regret? And I was like, absolutely. I think you learn from regret, but for me, I definitely regretted pulling her chair. That was not right. She's a class act, and we are over it. Like, she invited me to come on her show to film with her just last year, the Upshaws. So wrong. I do take accountability. Another time I've taken accountability is, and these are just from what I can remember off the top of my head, was with Phaedra. I did some things with Phaedra that crossed the line. She did absolutely things that crossed the line with me. But I apologize for my part and what I did to contribute to the downfall of our friendship. And that was on the show. So I'm not sure why people didn't acknowledge that was taking accountability, but I absolutely did in that moment too. I'm not playing a victim. I am in this situation partly because of my choices. Back to the original point, I have taken accountability. So you guys just choose not to see it. It's okay, but I'm just going to remind you. So now it's time for a commercial break. And since people want to talk about snatching edges, because you can get real close. These are my edges. You can even see the little gray hairs, okay? This is not a lace front. This is my hair. Well, not this, but this is my hair, and these are my edges. I developed Kenya Moore Hair Care similarly to why I developed a product line as well as a spa. I love making women look and feel good. Like, I love when women come into the salon or use my products and leave reviews and say, my hair has transformed. I have had so many customers and positive reviews before any housewives drama had anything to do with it. My customers say, more edges work. So try More Edges today. You can find them online, or you can come into the shop, or you can go to CVS or Sally. So they all have different products, but we're also going to be back on Amazon. So check it out there too. Kenya Moore Hair Care. We're going to get into even more receipts, okay? I'm going to be answering questions that you guys have submitted. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you don't, you won't get any notifications when I drop something new or when the juicy gossip hits the net first. You hear it from me first, right here.
People are saying, why didn't you go to the producers if you were so afraid?
The answer is I did. I did go to producers. Number one, when we were there, Portia and I stayed back while everyone was leaving, and Britt Edie was irate. She was yelling and screaming, and it was then that I heard her say the following words. That's why I keep a for like you. Let me repeat that. You didn't hear it. I heard it. It didn't make the edit. That's why I keep a for like you. Yelling and screaming as she's going out, irate. I heard things knocking around. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I immediately went to the showrunner, the executive producer, and I said, what is going on? Why is she talking about what is happening? Like, Portia can tell you that. She saw the reaction on my face. She saw that I was visibly shaken, and I was like just trying to figure things out. So I did go to the producer. Not only did I go to the producer then, I also went to the production company that night, explained what happened, and said, I don't know what's going on. We're 3 weeks into filming, and this girl we don't know is threatening to unalive me. I've been on the show for 12 seasons. I have never once had anyone threaten me with a I have not ever had anyone allude to unaliving me. So I took it seriously, because it's one thing if, listen, it would never be right. But if a Portia or, even a Drew or somebody that we know that has something to lose. Did you hear me say that? If it was someone that we already knew, that we have been filming with for years, and we know that they have something to lose, maybe I would have taken it differently. But when someone you don't know, who basically, in my words, like you just, you found off the street, is doing all of that, you guys weren't there. You do not know how intense it got. It got so intense. So I did make my complaint. Well, I went to the police before, and honestly, I'm the only cast member there that's ever been physically attacked. Whether you say I deserved it, whether you say I did this or did that, it's obviously a polarizing conversation, and it was back then. But I was, and still am, the only one on the show that was physically attacked. So when someone is new to me coming around and saying that they are going to unalive me and use a on me, and then what you heard 2 or 3 more times saying they had whips and MF, that wasn't about the neighborhood. When you try to change the narrative to make it benefit you because of your inaction, that's rigging the game. You're rigging the game. You clearly rigged the game against me. Listen, I'm going to leave it right there. I did what I was supposed to do. And I take a lot of umbrage to someone now saying that they didn't have a gun. And so somehow that's supposed to absolve them from everything that happened after. And we're going to show this clip where she said prior to Housewives that she keeps a gun at all times. Roll it.
Keep my pistol with me always. Always.
Security that's at the gas station?
I only go to gas stations that have security there. I only go to the same gas stations if I'm in the city.
Yeah.
On her Instagram, she said that wasn't her character. She did not threaten anyone with she did not have a she never said anything about so we know that that was a complete lie. So we already know you're a liar. We already know she's capable of lying and trying to rig the game. Let's go back to this whole Watch What Happens Live interview where Andy asked her, did she have a gun? And she said, oh, no, I didn't have a gun. Well, I have proof otherwise. Nobody checked bags when we're filming. Nobody checked cars when we're filming. You show up, you go inside, and you start to film. But weeks later, you say, oh, we had an investigation and found that you weren't in violation of the gun policy. Really, bitch? I did what I did. I complained to HR. I did all these other things. Now you want to do an investigation? 3 weeks have gone by? Because someone said it? Well, we already know that person is a liar, right? Because we have proof, solid proof, from her on Instagram, and she lied about talking about the gun that night. So we already know you're a liar. And now we're investigating something 3 weeks after the fact because of what someone said that wants to keep their job? Oh, okay, that's okay. Hey, did you have a gun that night? No. Okay, investigation closed. Can you go to the airport and say you have a and not get arrested? Can you go to the bank and say you have a and not get arrested? Can you go any place that it will put people in danger and say you have a and not be committing a crime? That's not a crime. That's not against policy. I'm just asking the question. Can you go to your job tomorrow and say, you, Joe, you gonna learn today? You don't know who the I am, Joe. You, Joe. You gonna have some respect around here. I got whips, that's why I keep a for like you, Joe.
I'm going straight to HR.
You going to HR and the police. If that happened on Beverly Hills, you think she would be in jail or punished or out of a job? You think if she had said that to Kyle or Teresa Giudice or any other housewife on any other show, do you think she would still have a job? I'm just asking the question. Things been handled differently. I would never felt a need to protect myself or escalate the situation. People go, oh, well, how is that protecting yourself? Because where I'm not even mention where I'm from. Where I'm from, and you may end up having to delete this, but I'm going to say it. You tell me if it's too hard. So that's why the decision was made, for me to escalate it in the way that I did. Because if you keep messing with me, I got more and more with you, so leave me alone. And that person likely will leave you alone. And they certainly wouldn't be going around playing victim. They would just go on about their business and find another target. That's that. You want the truth? That's the truth.
Do you now feel that your retaliation allowed the new girl to trick you out of your spot?
Ooh, I don't think there's any such thing. I already had a spot. How can somebody trick? It wasn't a spot up for grabs. Like, nobody snatched a peach. Everybody had a peach. So nobody tricked me out of a spot. So that does make sense.
Do you feel like Cynthia threw you under the bus and is Team Brit?
I'm not going to talk about Cynthia.
People want to know how much you make a season, honey.
How much I make a season? Well, I mean, I don't talk about money. When it comes to like my own money, I see a lot of crazy reports saying like my net worth is $800,000. My house is worth $3 million. Like, how is my net worth $800,000? Like, I own that much in cars. Like, just stop. Like, I think it's taggy to talk about money, so I'll just leave it at that. But I think it's decent to say that I make more than the girls that are on the show now. Oh, thank you. Saved by the bell. Saved by the bell.
Will you attend the reunion?
Will I attend the reunion? I haven't been invited to the reunion. In fact, I was invited and then disinvited a few months ago. The disrespect is insane. You know, from me being someone who has always loved Real Housewives of Atlanta and always wanted to see them win, to being shut out, not given an opportunity to apologize the same way that they gave that grace to someone else on the show. I think it's really odd, right? To be erased from history of the show, to not be in the opening credits, to not have confessionals. When Kim Zolciak left the show, she got a whole new show. She was in the confessional. She was a peach holder. You got girls taking glasses and knocking each other upside the head with real glasses on Jersey. You've had people talking about porn on Jersey. You've had people exposing, a real life revenge porn case on Vanderpump Rules. They're working. They haven't been made to look like a scumbag or a villain. Really? That's how I'm treated? That's pretty bad, I would say. So I don't anticipate an invitation. Yeah, I don't see that.
Why don't you promote the salon more?
You know, I've always been struggling with building a team. That's why I always admired Andy so much, because she has this awesome team. She has an amazing team and she totally gets it. But you need help. And so when I'm just building out the salon and I'm out of all this money, $400,000, I'm fighting with the landlord about giving me my little $80,000 back and my TI. Obviously, I built a whole new, top floor, put all this money into it. And then thinking about, okay, now I'm going to put even more money in hiring a team and doing this and doing that. It just felt like I can handle it. Let's just, I'm not going to throw good money after bad. We're just going to let a year go by and see how it goes. I've been open for over a year and a half, about a year and a half, I think, at least a solid year. And what I have loved the most about this salon is the women, the customers that come in and are so happy with the results. The smiles, the repeat customers, like we have 85% repeat customers. And then when the Housewives show airs and the whole scandal airs, I have all these strangers from all over the country leaving bad reviews. We go from 4.9 Google reviews rating to 4.4. And every day there's somebody saying something crazy to try to hurt my business. If you don't like me, you don't have to like me. If you don't like what I did, you don't have to like what I did. But why are you coming after my business? The same, it's a culture that it can be very beneficial to you, because I have a lot of supporters and Team Twirl is awesome. But then when you have these bad seeds and people that don't think things through and just try to spew hate in your direction, that's what makes it really bad. That's not fair to the customers that really get great service when they come here. And it's up to them. If you don't want to come to the salon, stay at home. It's as simple as that. You don't have to come here. But why are you trying to ruin other people from coming here and having great experiences? I work so hard, sometimes I'll step in and do a head spa. If I don't have a stylist, Walter can tell you that. If I don't have a stylist for the day or someone calls out, I don't want to let anyone down. So I'll put, my shampoo gloves on, or I'll shampoo someone's hair, or I'll do a deep conditioning treatment, because I want everyone to believe in the space and have an amazing time when they're here. And that was always my vision.
The girls want to know what you've got in the works.
Ew. I always keep things close to the vest until when it's almost out. So I have got a lot of different projects that people will be able to see me and my daughter in. And I'm just really so happy about that. But again, you don't know anything until after, it's in the canned. You know what I mean? Even if I've been shot in a movie, I don't talk about the movie until I know it's being released and I've seen it and I'm in it. So I went.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is reality with Diva D. Come on in, come on in. As you come into my house, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. A like is free. You don't have to do anything but push that little button. So a subscribe is free. A share is also free. I noticed that sharing is quite easy. All you have to do is hit that little share button, and it says where you want to share it to on your phone or your device. Could be a computer, a phone, or a tablet, or an iPad. And you just say, well, I think I want to share this video to YouTube. You can share it to YouTube, reshare. You share it to X, share. And then you might have to do a little work with the ticking or the talking because they don't like the videos to be too long. But I'm going to mix this recap in with what happened to Kenya because the show was slow. Okay, and I don't have a lot to talk about the show. I really don't have a lot to talk about Kenya either. The video will be attached if you want to learn every detail. I'm just going to talk about a few things that I picked up on that we already discussed over here on this channel. I've been on it with this whole Kenya situation because I'm Team 12. So you already know that most of the things that Kenya said, I've already said. Okay? So Kenya, she starts out by, saying that she is, in a better place. She talks about how she did all the apologies that she wants to do. She regrets her decision. And guys, I don't think she regrets her decision just because she got caught or just because she lost her job. I think that Kenya would have regretted this whole thing from the beginning. Had she seen Brit's reaction, because Kenya is not as bad as you guys think she is. I see a different person in her, and too many people have said that she's a nice woman outside of the show. I didn't think she was just terrible on the show. Excuse me. And she talks about how a lot of things that happened to her were retaliations. I think so. Where the Phaedra and Apollo thing comes into play, I think you all kind of disregard the fact that, like I said, they were flirting with each other. It wasn't a situation where Kenya started it. Yes, Kenya should have had more convictions because a man is primal. And where we all go wrong as women is that we always take the man's side. And, we have to also recognize that Apollo apologized to Kenya. And everybody is starting where, as if these people didn't do anything to Kenya. That is, and even with Brit, your acting is, because these same white women that are fans of the Housewives universe, they cannot stand, like I said, powerful women on these shows. Like, especially if women speak out against, black women speak out against the microaggression. Even with the comparison between two black women, or should I say 3 black women, Wendy, Candace versus Giselle. It's almost like America didn't happen. It's in our imagination, and colorism isn't real. I know that and I know that my channel is small. I have to say that because for some fact that I know that it's some kind of way that some of the things that I say, or either that, we just agree, on the things that I say, and it seems like, maybe somebody heard me say it, but I've been saying that the issue between, because they can't help themselves, and it's subconscious. We know it. We know it's internal, okay? As Black people, we know how colorism works. We know how it works against us. And as beautiful as Kenya is, perceived in the mind of the average Caucasian woman that watches this show, Brit is less threatening than Kenya is. Even though it was Brit who came up with the idea to have a pew pew said, like Kenya said, and we've all been saying it in the audience, you cannot go to a job. I told everybody, and I know I said this in my last review, go to any job, and threaten someone with a weapon and see what happens to you. See what happens to you. You're not going to be employed anymore. And then for them to play in our fucking faces and fire one but keep the other, feign ignorance, and say they didn't hear her. I know for a fact that at the beginning of this whole thing, don't y'all remember when the producers were coming out saying that it never happened, that Brit never threatened Kenya, that she didn't say, I keep weapons for bitches like you. I know y'all remember that. And Kenya brought that up. Again, I do wish Kenya the best. I hate that she did that at her beautiful spa opening. Kenya is in the mindset of she was just stuck on and fixated on getting her point across. But I think maybe even if she had, well, she did say that she was threatened with a weapon, but that was only after they were telling her that she was going too far. And I think if she had said that beforehand, before she started, she said, instead of saying, how is this hoe? Brit is what they call. If she had said, let me tell y'all, it's a new chick in our circle. Brit Eat. She threatened me with a weapon. Maybe that would have softened people up to what she said instead of pulling out her poster board from the beginning. Kenya has played in our faces for 3 days. She started out playing Tuesday. Then she got up in our faces playing with us on Friday. And then she played some more Saturday, but we got what we needed Saturday. Again, the video, if you haven't seen it, because I know some people have seen it and some people haven't. I'm just giving my quick analysis on what I think, about the video. Because a whole lot of people in the YouTube world have seen it. I mean, it's on her page. So however way you see the video, you'll still get whether you like Kenya or not, you'll still get a better perspective of what she's talking about. Things that, I've already said on this channel. Especially if she goes to one of the, what they call the upper echelon white, Salt Lake City. I'm going to use Salt Lake City as an example because this is the most important example. Jenny Gwen and Mary. I don't think Jenny Gwen was blatantly racist, in my opinion. I don't think that they fired her because of what she said to Mary. I think everything would have been cool, fine, and dandy with her breaking that glass at Mary's feet. She would have continued to film and continued to work had those tweets not come out and solidified her as a racist. And then you had people who were out there saying that she wasn't. And that's what I mean by white women in this space who just kind of consider it not what we know it to be. What we know you do and your microaggression. Can I touch your hair? That's a microaggression. I just want to know, is it soft? What the fuck? If you haven't experienced that as a black woman from a white woman, trust me. But what I do love about Caucasian women, I'll say this about when I went natural, even though those microaggressions there was, can I touch it? Can I feel it? They more so appreciated my kanky, nappy, as black folks call it, afro, than black people did. We are so desensitized to our own internal racisms, because that's what they are. We don't even realize that we doing it. You can hear our men. I don't like a woman with nappy hair. I don't like no dark-skinned women. Or you could hear women when I first went natural. Ooh, girl, why did you cut your hair? My hair was about shoulder length, a little past my shoulder. Ooh, girl, I don't like that. You know, why you stop getting your relax? Why you stop getting your hair perm? Ooh, nappy head. Why you walking around here with a nappy head? I had a child tell me, and this is how I know we do this to ourselves internally without even making it seem like that it's abnormal. That's what's abnormal. But people think that this is the normal way to do it. I had a 4-year-old child ask me. I was telling her about my mom. Just talking about my mom. She looked up at my head and said, is her hair nappy like yours? And I was like, she's 4, so I'm going to say this. Baby, our hair is beautiful and can be molded into anything we want it to be. And if you wanted to look like me with my hair like this, I can guarantee you that you will understand what I'm saying when you get older. You can understand that it's because we were told that this way is the wrong way. So I didn't say we were told that this way is ugly, this way is not beautiful. I wanted to simplify it in the mind of a 4-year-old. And now I don't even think she remembers that conversation. Her hair is natural. She don't have a relaxer. And a lot of the women who called me nappy head at work don't have relaxers. It's not a trend for me. It's not fun for me. It's who I am now in realizing that we were ridiculed for something that is natural to us because of where they stole us from. They stole us from a place where we were supposed to have hair tight to our head protecting us from the sun. That we were supposed to have black dark eyes. Or we were supposed to have black skin. These were all protections from whatever you given to us from whatever you consider to be your savior. If you think that savior Jesus, white guy from the Middle East, is your savior and your God, then that's who gave it to black people to protect them. If you consider your savior to be, or your deity to be, whatever African spiritualistic environment that you came from, which is really your roots, don't get me started. Islam, whatever your deity is, whatever it was, that's what gave it to you to protect you in different environments. And black people can adapt to any environment because of these protections. Okay? That's that on that. I said what I said, but I was saying that to make sure that we as black women understand that these things are happening directly to Kenya because of, to me, partly, not all, partly because of her complexion. They don't like it that she's a beautiful black woman sitting up on this pedestal and having the idea that she could come for someone who's brown skinned, when that's all in Brit's imagination. Excuse me. Kenya never came for her. Never. In this video, Kenya gives all of the incidents where she was nice to Brit. That's what it was. That's what it boils down to. She never came for Brit. Even with the ring situation, like she said, that wasn't my idea of shade. You know they call me the shade assassin for a reason. If you're walking around with a engagement ring on and no band, of course, the way Kenya described it, I thought she was married before. And this was her engagement ring to this new person. Okay, now let's segue into the recap. Well, the episode opens up and Brit is still wallowing in her self-pity. She's the ultimate victim. Oh, yes. She's victimized, but she goes to get a car. What the fuck does Michael do? Her license is up for grabs. But she goes to a car dealership. And she's a sex positive woman. And she kicks her leg up. Why if she can get it? And gives the idea that she wants to fuck in the car. If she can't fuck in the car, and she doesn't want it. Y'all, remember she's traumatized from videos. But she kicks her leg up in front of the dealer, not just her husband. The dealer at the dealership. Shows her how she can get her leg up. To let them know that the car was big enough for her to have sexual relations in the car. Y'all, I am not the only one. I was watching Queen Sheba the other day, and I'm telling y'all guys, I don't see no chemistry with this couple. I don't see them as a couple. I see that this is a transaction. You're getting something for me getting something. Like she's a live me and pretty girl. Was that? I'm saying it wrong. Pretty woman. If you know what I mean. That's what this relationship reminds me of. It seems like he just like a little controlling and like he could push a little button and then she reacts. Very Pavlovian, if you will. Like her mind is programmed to just be whatever he wants her to be to get little prizes. You give me this, you get this prize. Well, since you went through that whole situation with King, I'm going to give you this prize. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the car thing seems like to me. Oh, she's winning. I'm winning. I'm perfect because, I have a husband like this and he's going to give me a car that we could screw in. Try back. Oh, my bad. I didn't announce the episode. This is season 16, episode 7. Guess who's coming to Nashville? Oh, side note, we didn't see old girl lead a lot with that car. Just saying. And besides, Michael, I know that Angela has taken Kenya's side in the whole thing, and she can't talk about me because her husband had a baby on her. What the fuck does that have to do with Angela? See, this is what we're talking about, Britt. You bringing up shit that don't even compare to what your part in the whole thing. You're weird. Angela Oakley was not on anyone's side. She didn't even know Kenya like that. As a matter of fact, you two being newbies to the show, it seems like she wanted to gravitate towards you, but that whole question about the license has now, for you, turned her into your enemy. And so now it's time for you to snap your lips and talk about her, Charles having an outside baby. The world already knows. No. Time for Portia to get all the good tea about what happened at the brunch. So Kelly, Angela, and Portia meet, and they tell her about what happened. They tell her about, how old girl popped off Angela does, and it seems like Kelly just, she's her friend at this point, because Kelly is the flip-flopper of the whole situation, because all of this new tea that she's getting is seeming like she only came up with ways to get on other people's side now that she and Britta into it, because she is contorting herself, making up lies and listening to Britt's version of things and sounding like Britt in these moments. Like, yeah, Angela was coming after Britt. No, she wasn't. She questioned her license. Now she's all up in interviews, as Suge would say, all up in interviews doing the same thing. Well, so since the peace brunch didn't work, it's time for us to go on a trip. It's my birthday. So let's go to Nashville. And are you going to invite Drew? Now, remind you, they've had a conversation about this. And so she tells her, no, I'm not going to invite Drew. In the conversation, she said that she wanted a +1. This is where Angela does classic housewife movement. Okay? Y'all just remember this. And if I don't tell you nothing else, listen to me, Linda. You cannot be weird and not understand that you don't invite Cass to Cass Trip, whether you want them there or not. You can pretend and act all you want to, where I didn't invite them, and they came anyway and they surprised. Portia, you have done it before. You have gone on Cass trips that you weren't invited to, so stop acting like, and if Kenya had anything to do with it, you wouldn't have been invited to South Carolina, and neither would Marlo, if that's the case. Was Marlo still a friend when y'all went to South Carolina? I think she was. I think she got her peach after that trip. But anyway, Kenya didn't want Marlo's ass in South Carolina. It's just what it is. That's how these shows work. So stop acting like, that Angela has done something to you because she brought a cast member, especially a cast member. And your beef with Drew is stupid. Stupid. So since everybody has been on Kenya's side, I think I need to meet with Drew's little tight ass so I can have a conversation and get her on my team, because she seems like she's on Kenya's team too. So they go out to them. And Drew is like, I'm just going to get to the point. The part that I wanted to hear the most. Did you do it? Do what? Sell it. Sell what? That cake. Baby, that was the best part of the damn episode. No, Drew. I did not. I'm not an escort. I was, well, I'm counting, girl. I only did it for about a week. And I just made a lot of money, then I quit. Whether you made a lot of money and quit, I don't give two shakes of a rattlesnake's ass. Once you put it on the internet, bitch, it's out there for public consumption. Even if somebody wants to blow it up and put it on a poster board. Speaking of blowing it up and putting it on the poster board, Kenya was very adamant that she had spoken to all the right people to see if that was revenge P. Let me just say this, and I can always go by the example between Mel and Motel Hotel. Melody's pictures weren't on the internet. That's what made it illegal. Number one, when you put your pictures on the internet and you spread out your tail, spread Nana on the internet, it was transactional and for public consumption. Public consumption. A video made between a husband and a wife in private consumption. And then when you, as a man, her former husband, release that as a way to get back at her because she's winning and she has all the money, that is revenge P. Kenya used images that were already available to the public. I don't know why people can't see that and still calling it revenge P. There's no laws against sharing pictures that have already been shared for public consumption. If Kenya had shared it, somebody else did. She's not the only one. I assure you of that. She's not the only one that's seen the dick in the mouth. In your mouth. So she brings that up. I could have sworn how Drew has been playing that innocent, I'm curious role these days. I could have sworn that I saw that dick and I know it from somewhere. Like I used to date him or something. Well, if you studied these and you studied the ones that you had, you know what they look like. Even the ones you had in the past. You can remember what they look like. So maybe she did have it. That doesn't mean that Drew set nasal passages up. Clogged up nasal passages up. At all. And gave Kenya the pictures. Where are these people? Where y'all getting this shit from? If Kenya says she got them on the internet, she got them on the internet. Damn. Ralph and Drew go to court. When I tell you that this is the fucking worst thing that I've seen on reality TV in a long time, how I was annoyed at that peanut head bastard who gets a confessional and Kenya never got to defend herself. Male-centered, male-minded ass production. Excuse me. Especially with the showrunner being a male. This whole scene made Drew, even though if you have a conscious mind, you know what this scene was set up to do. But what it did was made Drew look like she was the bad guy. And narcissists are famous for this. I mean, you guys, a lot of you guys in the Real Housewives world don't know about Martell and Ralph's friendship. But everything that was coming out his mouth, if you watch both shows like I do, what's coming out of his mouth was Motel Hotel. All day. I'm not going to let her get me like Motel guy. So Motel has peeped him up on game. On what to do in court. Against the woman who appears to have more. Man, don't leave your house, man. Don't separate from your children, man. You're a good dad, Ralph. Don't you do that. So he's taking all of it, to me, in my opinion, he's taking all of his talking points from Motel Hotel. She did it too. When I heard him say she did it too, I want the court records open. When I heard all of that, all I saw, I just transfixed Motel Hotel's head on top of Peanut head. But I left the peanut part. But the face became Motel Hotel. He was just transforming into Motel Hotel before my eyes. So he's skipping out the damn courtroom like he's 5 years old. Skip to Malou. I get to stay in the house. I pay for the house. I get to stay in the house. Court records are open. Yeah, 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 yeah. Little bastard. When I tell you I want to turn that peanut head around, get out my face. Get him off our TV. Hurry up. And his musty ass lawyer. Yeah, I called her ass musty because she looked musty. Didn't make it any better. I have no compassion for women. If I was a female attorney and I was representing an old nasty narcissist just to get paid, I wouldn't be skipping around encouraging him to do the things that he's doing. I would be more professional about it. Yeah, I would probably encourage him. Yeah, we want those court records open so we can, find out more things about her. But we still have to submit our financial part. We have to submit our financial part to the other party. That's professional. When I saw that attorney skipping around acting like him, it reminded me of Phaedra. Real damn unprofessional. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When Phaedra took I will never forget that. I was like, what kind of damn attorney is this from back in the day when I knew Phaedra was a goddamn fraud? When she took that money in the parking lot. If you know, you know. Now, moving right along. So now it's time to go to Nashville. Everybody's having a good time. We're riding in the van. Somehow Portia comes up. As usual. Portia brings Drew up. I meant to say that. Midtime, Drew is over there celebrating her album. But it's not quite on the trip yet. As she should be. When I tell you, I don't know what the hell Shamia is thinking in her mind at all. 0%. From what I can hear, let me tell you, bitch. Drew sings better than you. Her song that we comparing on the show is better than yours. Somebody need to tell you. Okay? Stop being delusional like your friend over there. Portia. Like she's delusional into believing that you can do a show without having the whole cast on a cast trip. Even though it's your birthday is a front, it's still a cast trip. So we get to the house and we're picking out our rooms and and Kelly decides she want to talk about the house. Some of the people living in the attic, so we home alone in the attic, and got shrunk by the kids. The child, she transfixed 3 movies together. But if that's what you want to do, yeah. Flowers in the attic, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Home Alone. It's like Kevin was on Home Alone, fool. She sounded so goofy, and airheaded. But that's what it seems like these women are when they are male-centered. And they think that it's time to, grasp onto a man to get what you got, to use what you got to get what you want. And by the way, y'all, even though her waffles were soggy, and I hadn't tried them ever, so I'm not going to hold on to that. Y'all, she is being sued in real time. Some things are coming out on Angela in real time about her, business situation when she was at Wells Fargo. How she was writing them checks in her grandma's name. Her grandma was on her deathbed, but I ain't talking about that. That's alleged in my opinion. But it's out there. In case y'all want to check out some videos about Angela and about Brit on that ring. Down to the Nana Chicken and Waffle. Not Brit, Kelly. You remember they all got the same pinched in nose face. They talked about how, Angela was hiding at the stove. Then we find out that she looked like Yoshi because she decided that after her nose job to get Botox. Just more shit on top of shit. Now, Claudia Joy shared a video on her Instagram about women that will go get something else done. And they see this thing and they'll go get something else done. That seems like what's going on with Kelly, Britt, and Amber. But, because you're not happy with yourself? Well, what does that make Claudia to do? Because I know Claudia done had them lips spilled and poked and stabbed and everything else ever since she... Come on, let's be real about it. Since we've known her, especially when she was on TGIF, but we don't talk about that. Move right along. Oh, yeah, Angela misses her flight. They kind of happy because now they get to talk about it behind the back. And Monyetta Shaw, Money Monyetta, she's over there with Portia's ass, talking about how, because Portia brought her other friend, how Drew shouldn't have been invited. The fuck? Well, maybe you shouldn't have been invited because you ain't friend of the show cast no more. How about that? And Lauren's booty mouth said something as well. Well, why you on the show? You don't know how Portia jealousness works. You've been a victim of it. You get pregnant, she gets mad at you. She comes up with some kind of fantastical idea of why she should be mad at you because you pregnant, but really it's she makes up some shit. Same thing with Drew. Delusional. Drew hadn't done anything to this wide mouth, cat mouth woman. Nothing. 0%. What has Drew done to her? Nothing. Delusional Brit over there thinking Kenya's done something to her. Well, at this point she has, but prior to that, now she's the ultimate victim. Shout out to the ultimate warrior. Ultimate victim. So we go to the saloon. We real country right now. We cowboy Carter. We enjoying ourselves. We ride the bull. Shamil decides she want to win the bull ride, and she's just a winner in everything. I hate Shamil. Look, y'all. We're gonna be real. We're gonna have an honest conversation. Shamil can't dress. Every scene, a damn fucking mess. I hate it. Okay? She looks a mess. There's another victim of Portia's jealousy. And we're at the club, we enjoying ourselves, but, we're thinking about Drew's on the mind of everybody. Angela arrives. We're going to close here. Nothing more to talk about. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload the video. Again, hit the notification bell button. It's very important. Liking the video is very important because that sends out a message to the other viewers. Even if you didn't like the video, even if you just snap on the video after, because sometimes the videos will play as a coming up next. Even if you just see it as a coming up next, you're going to go on ahead and hit that like button. Even if you don't watch it, that'll still send it out to somebody else that may want to see it. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chuck them up. Deuces.